Crowdfunding roundup is back, baby! Let's do this! I even have the mic working. See? Aha! You ready? You ready? You freaking ready for this thing? Lots of great games to talk about as well. You know, if you're missing me review stuff, I'm smashing reviews in multi-game format. Meaning, you know what? I don't like doing reviews in just like one game per video for most things that aren't like, wah! Because, again, it's just more fun talking about stuff. So this coming week, I'll also have another one of those out. IV Studios. Did you know they put out some retail games due to the tariff situation? And that, you know what? Oh, yeah. So, what else did you need to know? Yesterday's video, is crowdfunding dead? Crowdfunding crash? Where are crowdfunding funds being thrown around? And so, I took a look at the top game funders of the past 5 years and said, is this actually booming, busting? And it's hard to say. But I did a little bit of data comparison there. It's not super analytical, but it's at least something because those statements always get said. That being said, let's talk about where the money is right now. Oh, I totes had to rebuild my Streamlabs and everything along that way. But that's also why the mic is working and some of those upgrades and, anyway, you don't need to know about that. Let's freaking go. We're starting off with the TEKKEN, right? Now, obviously, as I proposed at the beginning of the month, this is not, quote unquote, breaking the bank. However, I'll put this out there. I just wonder from an IP standpoint, is this projection-wise what they want? Because on the flip side of things, from a head-to-head dueling perspective, I mean, when I look at the previous, say, Exceed campaigns or BattleCon campaigns from level 99, getting $750,000 US is still frickin' impressive. Though at the same time, when I pull up the old Senjutsu page, right? Stone Sword got over $1 million, which just makes me go, okay, where is the gap in this? I see comparisons to Street Fighter, the miniature game, as well. And those are probably the two closest comparisons, Ivion being the next. Is it a price point? Is it a gameplay standpoint? Is it miniature driven? Is it an IP I have no affiliation with? And you're getting tons of content because Go On Board is known for that. I mean, that is not the question. The all-in of having a high price is not the question. But, okay, what are you getting with this? And because, again, like with their previous campaigns, there will be stuff not offered at retail stores. Read that carefully, though. Retail stores. Will it be available from them? Will it be available wherever else? That's the question. But you're getting a relatively decent amount of content with a different character, a solo boss, and another character. I mean, I guess that's three things. 68 euros, though, that's a lot of money for that. And there's some other content that you're getting down here as well. So get it first, get it during the campaign. TEKKEN, the rules of TEKKEN. And it's incorporating a video game streamlined style of the combo aspects that you may or may not be familiar with. Now, truth be told, I have no TEKKEN experience. I was always a Street Fighter person. But what you've got going on here is a tab-like situation, very familiar to their Witcher the Old World, if you're familiar with that. You're going to be playing cards in a combo-driven aspect in terms of high, medium, or low, and each giving you variable ways to combo them depending on your asymmetric character, but also a way to be read by your opponent. And this is the tricky part, right? This is not just purely a strategic, I'm playing better than you, but it is also a little bit of the mind game guessing style, because if you can correctly guess on your defending side of things where they're going to be attacking of those threes, you break their combo, take no damage, rinse and repeat, flip the script, and then get a free card to play on them. And that's what you're going to be having to dealing with. Now, you do have the different levels that you're going to be exploring. There's breakable terrain. There's police cars chasing across. But the concerns that I have read from people playing it on Board Game Arena and the few comments that are out there video-wise are that, okay, is it as asymmetric? Is it as representative that you may want in that way, right? Like when you look at Exceed and BattleCon, right? That is the most expressive of those features. When I looked at Yomi 2 at the beginning of this year, right? Those are hella asymmetric? Is it going to bring that much to this? And I can't tell. Is it going to be more like the Marvel United heroes versus the Marvel United villains, right? When you look at the villains are just completely crazy, even though they're using similar mechanics. But the heroes, especially in the first 2 rounds of Marvel United, right? There are some in there that are kind of generic-ish. Like, you like playing with them because they are the, phrasing, ones that you are having nostalgia for, but they aren't necessarily as unique, like in the first Marvel United, right? There were not significantly asymmetric cards in all of those characters. Some of them had 4 or 5 generic cards that were common across all of the ways. And that's what I fear in this. I also fear a little bit of the hex-based situation as someone who does like a Battlecon Yomi Exceed style as well. Because again, is it just a more streamlined version of Street Fighter, the miniature version, which is not bad, though, right? It's not bad necessarily. It's going to get easier play, less overhead. And I guess that always goes back to the question of, will you pay more for more streamlined? Will you pay more for more plays? And that is your mileage may vary more than anything else. The question, if you're looking at this though, is what's your best value? It's probably the core set. It probably is. And this is very much like Street Fighter the miniature game as well, as of getting your nausea expansions here with literally 9, now 10 different expansions. If you don't include the last 2, it's only 8. But I mean, right? 4 characters in each of those boxes. So how asymmetric are they? That's what is really the biggest test more than anything else. Because I don't want overlapping with this regardless. And it's just first one to knock out the opponent. And it's fine. I think that is exactly what I want. And if you want to test it out, go to Board Game Arena right now and see what everybody else is saying. I don't think the solo is a big deal for me. I don't think the tournament is a big deal. Like, I'm going to be playing this one-on-one. I'm not going to do a Dice Throne King of the Iron Fist tournament here in that way. But I know a lot of people do like that, where they draft, like 4 Dice Throne characters and they play back and forth, and last one with characters standing wins. And so you can do that here. The Automa here needs to be excellent. It needs to be something unique, because otherwise this really is a 2-player game. And, well, that's actually sooner than I thought. April 2026. That's not even a year. So, there you go. That is frickin' Tekken. Are you interested? Give it a look. Risk of Rain! Risk of Rain! Risk of Rain! We're talking video games this week, apparently. Risk of Rain. I have no idea what to expect with this one either when I previewed it at the beginning of the month on the list of games to know. Right? Risk of Rain, based off of Risk of Rain, the video game number 2, but apparently they didn't want to put it in the title to make people think that this was a sequel-based board game. Anyway, you are fighting to escape that chaotic alien planet. Hordes of frenzied monsters in the form of miniatures driving you insane. Roguelike tabletop with miniature-driven exclusives. Core Deluxe. Deluxify it for 60 extra bucks. Get everything all in there. The all-in tier, $235. What is this game, though? Standalone cooperative survival using your survivors to, well, return to the crash site again and again. You're going to be going through this game in a 1 to 4 player mode, having drones available to you if you're knocked out, and then trying to slowly unlock things each time you fight a boss. If you can fight 3 scenarios in a row, you unlock the final boss and you can win. What you're doing, though, is an action selection style of place 1 card down, grab 3 monster cards, small, medium, and large, flip them all over, put them in order based on the speed, and then go subsequent action-wise depending on what is there left to right. Monsters will go before you if there's a tie, and you take your actions including moving, attacking, grabbing your items, interacting with the environment, trying to, achieve basically all of the objectives that are surrounding the teleporter in order to activate the teleporter to get to the boss. Killing monsters gets slotted onto the upgrade chart that slowly allows you to upgrade your character, as well as gathering the gold that you get from them, purchasing more items. that is kind of how to play. Demo rulebook is there, and a few quotes as well. Miniatures kind of not terribly great there. I think this looks like a fantastic Dead Cells style. I don't really need the miniatures aspect of a game. I think it looks a little bit intriguing because you've got someone like myself who is a big cooperative fan. But I just don't know if it's too simple or if it's just enough, because the actions themselves are very straightforward, but the nuance sometimes with the items, with the equipments, with the drones, because if you get knocked out, like I said, you flip over your card, you become a drone, you get to put a drone action token down on that tableau of those actions on a round by round basis as you go along, and you're only defeated if everyone is knocked out. How grindy is this game going to be to get to some of the stuff? Because if we pull up the rulebook here, you start seeing, as it says down here, each time you defeat a boss, you gain an uncommon item and upgrade one of your action cards. Each time you play a session, you will be able to unlock new content, including tiles, items, modules, survivors. So that's good. But one of my biggest criticisms of games like this is I can't have all of the good stuff hidden behind the walls. And if it's going to take me 17 plays, I mean, this is not a style of things that a lot of people will do, right? And if each session takes you 60 to 90 minutes, that's not insignificant. So I see what they're bringing and I see why it could be really interesting, but for that price point, I kind of also say wait and see. Camp frickin' Grizzly is back. Now, I am both loving the fact that this is being well supported at $250,000 nearly, but I'm also going, right? This was one of the games that I got raked through the coals when I mentioned it after it was announced months and months and months ago, that people were like, Chris, you just don't understand the game. You just don't understand the appeal. And I was like, okay, show me. And everyone says this is one of those great thematic games. It is not a complicated mechanical game, though. So if you're looking for the experience of this game, that is what it is offering, per a lot of the comments I have read now. And so, again, what I've read. I haven't played it. And the thing I've seen is that if you have one of the previous editions, you're going to kind of have to buy the new edition because the expansions are not compatible with the old edition, which is fine, because you can't buy the old ones anyway. So if you really love this game, you get it now. But I was told that this was going to be the second coming as well in the comments section. And so also to only see 2,900 people, that is still a lot with a lot of money, but it is not, again, break the bank like you thought this was the second coming of some of the restoration games that have come back in the same light, right? Star Wars Epic Duels or any of those. So that's my question is this expected? Is this better than you would have expected? Is this worse? And I don't think it really matters, but it's just one of those things where, again, I saw people expounding, people paying $400+ for this game. And now you can pay $80 for it. Gets all the expansions. And I don't see as many people as I would have thought based on the clamoring from the secondary market. So is it one of those, just like we're going to see the test later this month with Hanami, the remake of Samurai, are people actually clamoring for it because they frickin' want it? Or are they clamoring for it because it's unavailable, right? The heart grows fonder via absence. If I can't get it, I'm going to desire it more. But once it's available, no, just kidding, right? So that's where I'm wondering. It's semi-cooperative, though. Are you a fan of semi-co-op? The how to play is relatively straightforward, right? As the semi-co-op, though. You gotta look into the semi-co-op element, though, because you're going up against Otis, the homicidal maniac in a bear mask. You have to complete objectives that trigger around the finales. Along the way, as counselors, you're going to have weapons, items, and events, as well as in cameos that are going to get in your way or assist you. The game also goes to a final battle if too many bodies are killed and the body count track meter goes up, because Otis will kill the cameos like right on appearance. And what you're going to be doing on a turn-by-turn basis is you're going to be moving, grabbing your items, and just exploring as you go along. On a turn-by-turn basis, you have one of these encounters of these plot twists, And you have two different modes that you're going to be playing in this game, the classic and the modern, one of which only has 6 counselors, no redos. Once you die, you're out as a counselor. But if you play the regular version of things, you get spawned back up. Otis strikes, and then you see who wins. That's what you've got going on. $60 for the base release, $70 for the upgraded expansion content. Now they run you through all of the expansions down here. Fooling around, getting the bottle spinner, more cabin cards, more survival cards, more finale cards, Sister Harper, Counselor Becky. Expansion 2, more weapons and self-preservation, more ways to survive, more cabin cards, more maniac cards with number 3, more schlock. Oh, okay. Doppelganger, Counselor, more of everything. So again, it's really just tons and tons and tons of variability more than anything with this. And now with the stretch goal unlocked, it's just an absolute massive overload of this. The acrylic upgrades are nice. I like standees in the first place. We saw the stretch goals here getting a little bit extra deluxeification as well. They show you through, again, the double-sided board, the updated layout, and a little bit of the content. Is it truly one of those that you're going to look at this point? Because it looks like, from a retail standpoint, if all the expansions are included, you know, $60, I don't know. I can't see that being necessarily the straight-up retail price if that's the case. If you separate out base game and expansions, I have no idea what that'll be included. But I guess, you know, it says that all of them are included in the box, so you'll get it everywhere, everything for that price. So again, it'd be one that I'd say bring it over, let me try it out, let's see how it goes, because I could see it going very much either way in that regard. Now we've got Land vs. Sea with the Uncharted expansion and custom meeples, in case you're hearing kids in the background because they're running around doing crazy things because I've got 5 kids in my house instead of the normal 3. $36,000. I remember this game. I actually traded it away, not because I didn't like it, but because I just didn't get it played. It was one of those where it's a step up of Carcassonne, if you will. It's almost too much symbology, though, on the tiles, and that's what you need to be aware of. But the nice thing about it is you can layer it in, so you can choose to include what symbology on those tiles that you want, because Uncharted is giving you 2 more different ways to play. An inbuilt scoreboard, all you gotta do is take the top off the board game box in order to play it, and you just go. You're creating seas and land masses and trying to enclose them, which honestly is the biggest portion and part of things that's hard, because you get these massive sprawling masses that just do not close off well. But you just play a tile and use the actions that maybe are benefited by the tiles you're playing. Score and draw. I mean, the gameplay is straightforward. Here is the one that comes with it: mountains and coral. Then you have ships and caravans. Uncharted, though, gives you 2 ways of modifying those particular elements that are already there. Menhirs, by the way, I think that's just a funny word. I love it. I need to see more words like that. Score all the points between them, and triangulation between them will get you even more. And then cities that score bonus along the land and sea areas adjacent to the trade routes. And then bandits and pirates, which are going to be raiding those trade routes for extra points as well. Meeples if you want them, but otherwise, it's a known quantity. How do you feel about it as well? Again, it's one of those I'd be happy to have, but again, I just didn't get it played, so I have too many games already, but it's doing well. There you go, Uncharted expansion. Inscape! The box in an escape room game! No, wait, just kidding. The Atlantis Labyrinth escape room in a box game. And what do you need to do? You need to get inside. I love that there's an audience for this and people love this, and it's got almost $100,000, which is freaking fantastic. And you just use dexterity and logic. I have one of those too. I'll let you guess which one it is. I have slight logic. No, there you go. Spoilers. You get the Cosmic Artifact or the Atlantis Labyrinth. 4 out of 5 difficulty. For dummies like me, there's not an easy enough one down here as well. A creative way to grab money, jewelry, and other gifts. You know how pissed off I would be if someone was like, hey Chris, here, spend the next hour and a half to 2.5 hours in a 4 out of 5 difficulty level of doing this to get the gift certificate or hidden gift on the inside, and then to find out like it's like $20 or something like that, and you're like, I just wasted 3 hours of my life, because you know it would take me like double the time, right, to do this. Ah! Anyway, I'm done. I'm done, right? And there's the dummy one from people like me, the 2 out of 5 one, where you just probably like turn the thing and it opens up. Anyway, that's all I got. It's going to cost you between like 50 and 70 euros, depending on how much you want to pay. Probably upwards of 70 though, once you include shipping on any of these. And it looks like you can bundle them too as an early bird, which is still available as well. You get them maybe by Christmas if you're absolutely lucky. And shipping is going to, not too bad, horribly, even if you're buying a couple. So there you go. TOTYM! Yes, that's how you pronounce that. It's TOTYM. TOTYM. Don't let the cuteness deceive you. It's a totem building, bluffing, ascending card game with different types of creature cards, mythology inspired. If we skip past all of the other stuff and the plushies and the 375 and 400 and 600 and whoa, $2,000 pledge level of starter decks and booster decks. Although they say it's not pay to win, so don't worry. But what's the game actually about? Now, it's skill-based. It's no pay-to-win gating. You can bluff. Wait. Booster packs are optional for advanced deck customization. I feel like you're straddling the fence there, trying to say it's not a TCG when it's totally a TCG, because if you can probably build it, you're probably going to be better anyway. You've got, like 5 different types of cards here that you are going to be utilizing. The foundation of your totem. And any card can be played face down, but you need a certain number of worship cards as your creature to build these totems between the worship and the tarot cards. But you're placing some of them face down, so you might be bluffing. But if your opponent calls your bluff, while you either before locking in that totem or after locking in that totem, it collapses and you can, get basically bashed back and forth. And if you get both totems locked in, your creature ascends. You ascend 3 times, you win. Is there more nuance to it than that? I hope so, but I can't tell because that's all we've got on the page. Launch, boom it up, baby! Totem, there you go. I'm always intrigued about this, and this is why I should launch a crowdfunding campaign. Kraken, the pirate and fish sabotage board game. Oh, yes. $24,000. Nearly $25,000 at the time of me filming this, right? What is this game like? How is this game played? 30-minute matches as you upgrade gear, legendary creatures, outsmart your opponents. What do? You draw 2 cards, you play 3 actions, you flip over a random fish, roll a die, and try and collect it. But you can be strategic. But you can upgrade your equipment. But you can somehow sabotage your opponent. But you can catch a legendary fish. Or to win, you can just catch the Kraken. Want to know anything more about how the nuance of this game is played? It doesn't matter because there's nothing else on the page! I mean, it's an intriguing concept, but I don't know why I would back it right now, not knowing anything more, having a rule book, or seeing more details. So, I'm impressed. At the same time, pause, Splitstone Games and Mycelia. It's a mushroom game. 77 grand though. Again, 2,100 people must be liking this game. This is giving us the North American expansion, which is like a 5-page rulebook of planting saplings and aging them as you go along. But apparently you're also going to be playing with a 5th player. You're trying to grow these into grandfather trees that you have there. 30 plus unique more cards and 2 new mechanistic approaches to give you that 5th player spin on things of more mushrooms that you love. I don't know. I haven't heard much about this one. I haven't seen positives. I haven't seen negatives. So I guess I wonder, is this one worth it for you? Does this add just enough or not enough? And there's plenty of content, again, as a known quantity of a previous game. And the artwork is very, very pretty, truth be told. So is this one back on your radar? UK games-based publisher. Give it a look. Northwest second print run Campfire solo expansion just finished prior to me filming this, $25,000. If you're not familiar with this cube-based Cascadia-like game, you now have the ability to do it solo as well. It is a cube-based situational set collection movement situation, and what you're going to be doing essentially, if I can actually find a picture here of it on the page, which apparently there is no straight up picture, but what you're essentially doing is looking at these cubes and taking them from the center grid, playing them on your own player board. And then the next person can only move the hiker person, the person that determines where the cube is going to be taken from based on what was taken previously. So if you take a mushroom, for example, you can grab any of the ones around there. If you can only grab a maple, then you can only grab one of the diagonals of where the space is. And so you rinse and repeat until there are no more mushrooms left, because if you ever can't complete a movement based on what is the valid move and the dice around it, you teleport to a new mushroom. If there's no new mushrooms left, the game ends. Or if you fill up your board, the game ends. And then you flip the board over in terms of the actions that tell you where it can move, and you see the set collections based on all of the different styles that are there as well. You're getting new gameplay, you're getting a solo mode, and the second print with a rulebook update as well. Campfire cubes now that you can swap in and that you can spin in order to, well, embellish your journal and get a new layer of strategy with some push your luck. I don't know, but it's one of those games that I'd love to try sometime as well. Northwest, give it a look. Well, I mean, wait for them to open a pledge manager, I guess. Jackpot, set the reel. Dronda, I apologize. I owe you an email. I actually picked up a copy of Explorers of Nevoria in a trade, a math trade, so I didn't need the review copy from you guys, and I'm sorry I never sent that email back. I apologize, Aiden. But this is their next push your luck style set collection drafting game in the form of Jackpot, set the reel. Essentially, you have a hand of 10 cards that you grab 3 of in a scout-like situation where you have to grab 3 that are adjacent to each other. It can be anywhere in those 10 cards, but then you slot the cards together where the gap is taken from if you grab it from the middle, creating new sets of potential 3 that can be used later on. And it's based on symbology that you're going to be getting resources, coins, in order to upgrade your cards, in order to press your luck to score the most stars. Getting over 35 to end the game will trigger things. Match along the way. You're going to have inactive cards, though, however, that will get in your way that you're going to have to upgrade by flipping over, as well as buying cards to slot into your hand. You actually end up playing 9 of the cards, 3 sets of 3, and then you pass the card to the person on the right and they have to slot it in there as well. Then getting further coinage based on one of the columns that you have set up. Rinse and repeat until you get enough stars laid down to win the game. 2 expansions, including the 7 Seas, which allow you to draw movement cards to get other victory points and coins along the way, as well as relics of the last tomb, entering the tomb and guessing high or low to get more resources in the same way, and then the lucky clovers, rolling the dice and hopefully hitting jackpot in between, depending on how you want to do it and how much you want to press your luck. Solo mode is there. Everything else, you get a little jackpot thing, which I'm not a huge fan of incentive-wise to get it on crowdfunding, but it's only $24 and you get the mini slot machine first player token. So the all-in here for this is 45. Well, it's doing well. So what are we at right now? About 18? What is that? 18, almost 19, 20 days to go. Give it a look-see. Restless Spirits. Again, just a different set collection resource management. Not really a tableau builder, though. You have a tableau, but it's more just to gather the spirits onto your board so that other people can't do it, you know, kind of like the golden coin in Splendor, if you will. And you have about 9 different actions on your turn that you can take. Anything from buying the totems. As you can see, the totems are the pieces of the spirits at the bottom of the card that are required to unlock it. And you will have dark and light types of spirits, but 5 or 6, if I'm remembering correctly, different types of spirits on each side of things that will have different attributes as well as different abilities. And then when you unlock them, you get the ability to get a light or dark blessing or curse card, which is another way of mitigating and doing some take that, because the curse cards will take that to other people. The blessing cards will help you. The abilities may be along those same lines. That's it. You choose your spirit guide. You have 3 slots to draft these in. You have 3 action tokens on a turn-by-turn basis. The 9 actions that you can take cost anywhere between 1, 2, or potentially even 3. And you need to get a race to unlocking a certain number of spirits, 5 at the 2-player count, 4 at the 3-player count, and 3 at the 2-player count, I believe, in order to win. Rulebook is there, solo mode, deluxe edition, and everything you see, right? Tarot-sized cards. And I think you're getting a little bit of tiny extra gameplay content with the stretch goals. As you can see here, 1 blessing, 1 curse, and an extra promo spirit, and a little bit of deluxifications, because they probably weren't expecting to get this much funding, but Sneaky Rascal has a sneaky, under the radar, well, potentially looking nice set collection game if you like this thing. So give it a look as well and tell them Liege sent you. Skyscratchers! Strategic 3D climbing cat game, because you play cards that determine how your cat moves literally up the side of the building using magnetic tiles to reach the top. You have to get all your cats to the top in order to win. But if you land on the same spot as another cat, you can knock them off, or you can knock them off in other ways. If you're on your own color, though, you can't get knocked off. If you get knocked off, you fall straight down to the next one of your color. And just rinse and repeat. And then they say staying safe on your own color will be a much slower path up. So at some point, you gotta risk it. And that's it. 2 or 4 players, 30 minutes. I think my kids would love this. By the way, I mentioned the magnetic tiles is you build them along the side, creating a different asymmetric gameplay setup each and every time you do it. The types of cards that you will be playing on your turn, you get to, well, move in different ways. Move 4 spaces in a straight line, ending on a space of your color. Move one of your cats to any space on its current level. Move 4 spaces of different colors. That's all, right? Place a cat on the bottom row, use the actions and the cards to start building and climbing, and you get to play 3 cards per turn. That's it. Expansion, extra content there, dog obstacles in the scary windows, snowball the stray cat getting in the way, and new action cards along the way. So I think this would be a perfect family weight game, and I can see why that it's doing as well as it is. So $82,000. Well, I might put that one on my wish list. Lands of Amazement, the next solo Scott Alms game. $12 free expansion, 56 grand. The 9th in their series of doing this. And look it's just a little card tableau building situation. How brain burny. Oh my gosh, this looks like it's a terribly brain burny thinky game if you really want something that's, 15 minutes or less in that style. Wow, spatial. Because what you've got here is the plan that this card requires if you want to get the ability. And these are the shapes that it has at the bottom. And all you do is draw and place. And then look, we just created a shape that may or may not match that to get the ability if you plan perfectly. Grow it and build your park accordingly. Build a mega park. What are we getting here though, expansion-wise? 3 card expansion. Family icons. Okay, that's it, right? Also, 5 card expansion, rust icons. Okay, this is way too brain burny for me. But it gives you the Hyperstar, Salvage, and Tracked modes. Yep, there you go, $12. You want 14 with the restorations to go along with it as well? You got it. And little video content in addition. It's solo. It's what these guys are known for. And if you want to get a bunch of their back catalog, they'll allow you to do that too. Board Game of the Month Club. Nice work. Next game. Ascendancy Underworld. What we're doing here is we're talking about the mega edition of this expansion related to Ascendancy, the 4X worker placement tech tree tile-driven exploration game. You're getting Underworld, which is also giving you more dungeons in terms of tiles that you can fight bad guys off of. You're a noble heir with many vices and virtues that you can unlock with a tech tree style as you go across trying to lead now one of 6 different houses of royal lineage as you, 4X, right? Map world movement, place down, cube it up for resource management, loot treasure, and expand your territories on them as you go across. Then shared economy, fight your enemies, and get a little bit of everything else. Dynamic dungeons are going to give us the new aspect here against alone or together, and then slaying the cyclers, the enemies that are there, unearthing legends to go along with it. New playable houses and returning favorites here that you're seeing along those lines. So there's a lot of new mechanics here as well. New status called Cursed, Necromancy with Sacrifice, Blessed, because you got to have Cursed and Blessed, as well as Inquisition and Heresy. Hidden roles matter more with this as well. New scenarios of the Underworld system, playing up to 6 people. I would not play this up to 6 people. More of everything you love. More. Leech phylacteries. That's a fun tongue twister there. Devouring mother, tyrannical father, and the Uber boss. Uber boss? Yeah, Uber boss. It just says Uber boss. So, dual breath weapon and a ton of miniatures and deluxifications. So, what are we getting that is in the box comparison-wise? Because that's what you want to know, right? Core is going to cost you for the Underworld expansion $115 freaking dollars. That's a hell of a lot of money. $195 for just the expansion and deluxifications is even more of a hell of a lot of stuff. So, $360 to get it all bundle. That's a lot of money. I covered this the first time around. You're getting a little bit of extras, and it's definitely a little bit more of an upkeep style game. So check out these quotes if you really want to know more and give it a look-see. Under the Sun, 2nd edition miniature expansion. Miniatures, the long-awaited updated base game, 2nd edition upgrade kits, $100,000. Not even 1,000 people though. So, Under the Sun. Now, this is funny, right? Desert Dogs. Oh, do you want bear miniatures? We have those too. But how do you play this game? It's a cooperative or semi-cooperative explorative game in the post-apocalyptic world at the mercy of the sun. Up to 6 people with the expansion. Common goal. But hex-based exploration, crafting your resources, surviving, navigating, card-driven play as you take your turns, representing a single day divided into morning, afternoon, and night phases, triggering events, looting, and exploring. So, rulebook right there, 2.0. Well, it's doing good. So, what are you getting for the stretch goals and the add-ons here? A few extra content, upgrade kits for those who didn't get it the first time, and a little bit appreciated if you want as well. So, Under the Sun, we're going to leave it there. What else we got on store for us? The Voynich Puzzle. Salt and Pepper Euro game. Doing something a little clever, a little different. I'm not really sure what to make of this one, because it looks like it is doing something different than the typical Euro game. At the same time, I just don't know, right? Cool double-sided board with some asymmetry there. You have Voynich cards that you are going to be utilizing in order to progress and put these puzzle pieces down for shared knowledge on the center board in order to solve the game, solve the puzzle that hasn't been solved. You have multi-use cards here that you take the actions of at the top of the card, but then as you upgrade them, as you gain more knowledge, you actually rotate and flip the card and get more ability actions here, as well as the end game scoring to go along with it. And you select one of them on your turn and take those actions. It allows you to interact with the 5 main sections of the board in the first place, slowly unlocking more abilities, more actions, and more knowledge, and progressing more cards as you go along. I don't know, right? It's a 36-page rule book. Danny Garcia, so definitely on the heavier Euro side of things, but is this for you? A couple good quotes here. Rado's got 2 out of the 5. It's funny because there's 5 quotes here, but there's only from 3 people. Anyway, 40 euros, small indie publisher, who knows? Straight up stretch goals, not existent, and a few videos as well. That's it. That's the Voynich puzzle and expansion stuff that you can do. Salt and Pepper is, again, achieving their goal over here on GameFound. Light in the Dark Fires of Thokaia expansion. It's a 1-player solo dungeon crawler, everything you'd expect from a dungeon crawler, taking a certain number of actions per turn, getting events, items, as well as fighting enemies with a 2 versus 2 dice-based combat system, adding stats as you go along. And you're getting Fires of Thokaia as the expansion here. What are we getting that's actually new here in the box? Well, let's see. Light in the Dark, we talked about all the other stuff. More terrain, more quests, more enemy stat cards, and more enemy cards and items and everything else. Just everything that you would be including in the base game. So, deluxe upgrade meeples. Okay. So, it's a 1 to 2 player dungeon crawl. Enough video content and reviews out there. And again, it's doing relatively well for a small game, $43,000. Then, the Other Side of the Hill reprint, heavy war game from 2024. You are simulating the struggle for power within the German High Command at World War II. I don't know, right? You're going up as the bad guys. It's all I got. It's heavy. People like it, and people were saying it one of the heavier games of 2024. It's a war game. I'm leaving it there. Metus, $5,000. Just thought I'd mention it here. 2-player as well. Print and play. And just kind of area control actions with 80 unique advisors that you can activate as you go along. And that's tug of war style area control turn structure. So I'm going to leave it at that as well. A little bit more complicated print and play though, if you like that style of war game-ish. Then Vines and Flowers, $12,000. Blooming Harmony. And it's 3D tile placement. Okay, 3D tile placement. Show me what you got here. Well, what are you doing? Well, you just acquire a tile, place it there, and display the petals on the contract that are needed. So you gain things as you go along, including triggering hummingbird special effects, and you get to make something pretty. So Vine Sprawl, it reminds me of a couple other games that we've seen, the tree blocks as well as the tree one from one of those other companies where we're kind of sprouting the flowers along the way. So I'd like to know a little bit more exactly on the nuance of some of those abilities and splaying out on the 3D tile side of things. But you know what? We'll give Whales Entertainment the pass, but they got 12,000. Give them a look. Well, as I was scrolling through GameFound, for all of you that are watching this end part of the video, I just saw this page pop up on GameFound. We're following. It's guess what we're talking about on the news this week, I guess, right? 5 new expansions and more surprises. Capybara Crush, 10 grand. It's Cascadia cards, as they say. Well, you just draw a card, you put it on top of your Capybara, or add it on top, and you score chains of matching animals that match along the background. So that's what you're going for. That's all you need to do. You can do it AI solo-wise as well. Simultaneous drafting, or game mode of Trickybara as well. So get a little stuffy to go along with it. Ooh, Doomcat. But that's it. That's everything you need to know, and that's pretty much everything on the page that's not in a video. So there you go. 22 abstract games now printed for you. Which ones do you want? 5 grand, 26 people doing this thing, and a bunch of old classics, which are mostly on Board Game Geek. I'm tempted by them, but there's nothing that's really caught my eye, because a couple of these that I have looked up that were recommended to me were actually super AP prone. So I guess that's the only thing I'll say with this, and that you can check out all 22 of these, because if you think I'm giving you 22 games on this, oh boy, we have some other words for you, but at least I thought I'd highlight it if nothing else. High and Low, it's got 4 grand. It's a card game. Somehow 4 grand with 15 people. That's a little weird, right? You got someone buying 3,000 copies. You have someone buying 200 copies, but that's still only $1,600 of the 42. Where's the other 2,600 coming from? Well, there's another 1,500, so we're still missing $1,000. We're still missing $600. Okay, we're missing, a good chunk of change here. Someone's backing a lot more than that, but it's a card game, right? You have 3 up and 3 down, and you just have to play the higher one. There's a couple special cards like Ghosts, which skip you, makes the next person play a higher one. 2 resets the pile back down to 2, and then the bomb card destroys the card pile. You play all your cards, you win. That's it. That's the story of High and Low. There you go. Astro Out! 1 to 4 player, heavy Euro style Japanese publisher. So yeah, this is what you get on this channel too. And now it says 60 to 120 minutes, 4 rounds, manage your tokens on action spaces, area cards, character cards, combine them to get bonus triggers and their rewards. I don't know, right? You're going to have to look at maybe a rule book, how to play down here in terms of the different mechanics that are offered in this heavy Euro style game than anything else. And that'd be the question, right? How is this different? Is it going to be different enough for you? But you can try on Tabletop Simulator. You can try out the rule book, and you can consider getting it as well. So it's going to cost you about $50 plus whatever shipping is going to be. I thought I'd mention it because I just like highlighting small stuff everywhere. There you go. Speaking of things, going back over to GameFound here for the last one, we have 20,000 euros at the time of filming this, and this is Chaosphere. This is a 1 to 2 player sci-fi roguelike, solo or cooperative. Shoot 'em up, pick and build your ship, pick and build the enemy boss ship, scenario-driven style upgrade game that you have to progress through 3 sectors, facing up to 23 different events or challenges in each sector, as you potentially fight off things that are in front of you, having the ability to go back and refuel, but once you pass a sector, you can't go back. Beat the boss and win. So there you go. Like I said, expeditions, battles, opportunities, dangers, reeling and drawing cards, or retreating to the spaceport as a whole. You have 6 phases that you're going to be doing in terms of battling, shields, energies, missiles, resources are limited, and, well, you get a 12-card deck based attempt on battle. 6 success, 2 critical success, and 4 failure, estimating your odds to beat your opponents. Upgrades, recruits, and everything else along the way, card driven. Does this look like your vibe? It's going to cost you $40 plus a little bit of shipping in that way, so give it a look, and they've got a little extra there as well. That's the last one up this week, so there you go. Boom shakalaka! Challenge. My daily challenge lately has been pick up 1 piece of trash I see wherever I am going every single day. Just 1 piece. Doesn't matter where you go, not that 1 piece. Although I was debating about trying to get my oldest into 1 piece, but I'm reading the reviews and they're like, well, should probably be at least 14, at least. And the anime depiction, I have some concerns about that in terms of the body sizes and shapes and things like that. Because, I mean, again, proportions, anime, you just didn't need to do it, but you did it anyway because it's not in the manga. Anyway, but the live action season 2 for One Piece is coming out. That's why it kind of jiggered back on my radar. I don't know. I have Dungeons and Dragons, Builders of Baldur's Gate out on the table right now that we're playing. So that's the only thing that we've really got going on. I'll be having hopefully another review out this week, either of a few things that I already mentioned at the beginning of the video, the Ivy Studios, combined with a special card game as well. One of the most clever card games in a separate video that I've ever played. It may be on, again, that list of top games of the year that aren't actually from 2025, because that's another one on the list of things that's absolutely amazing. I've got Castle Raisers sitting down there next to me. I've got Apex Legends going to be coming out soon as well. Whew. That's all I got. Well, we'll figure out something else, though. Did you like the video from yesterday, the crowdfunding of numbers? Should I just extend that? Well, that's probably what I should do, is just look at how many $1 million projects we have too. Not just the top 10, but just that sum total. But that was a lot of work even when I did the tier situation. So we'll see. I might have to do that again at some point. But I also need to do a look back videos. I haven't done one of those in a while. That's all I got. Peace out. Thanks for watching.